talk a little money. A little money talk with our man, Brien Krank from Collins & Krank. Wow. Where do you want to start, dude?
Oh, isn't this fun? We're making money.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's a good thing. How are we making money?
The market just keeps going up. It is making liars out of all the talking heads on television. The more that they cast doubt on this, the higher we seem to go. NASDAQ in new territory. I love it. I love this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. You know what? And I just, with all the everything else that's been going on and summer and, I just haven't really been, I see the graphic and I see a lot of green numbers, but to hear that is such heartwarming, great news. Do you think that goes to, because they talk about an economy on shaky legs, an economy, a solid economy before all this. And we had a solid, so they're talking about the time of recovery. And with a solid beginning and base that we had, are you on the same page that the recovery is going to happen a lot faster than slower?
Oh, I think you're right on. That's exactly what's going on. We've never seen anything like this. I've been in this business 25 years. I've never seen this type of a recovery. And the only thing that's different this time, and I shouldn't say the only thing, the big thing that's different this time is just that. We went into this, we basically flipped the light switch off, but we were in a very strong uptrend, a very strong economy. And usually when you go into a market correction, you've been slowing down for a while. So here we slammed on the brakes, and now we opened up the throttle again, and we're getting right back to where we were.
But what about with all this rioting across America's greatest cities? I mean, that's got to have an impact because, I mean, these people are shutting things down. They're shutting trucking down and smashing stores and just causing all kinds of mayhem. That's got to factor into this somehow.
Or are the money people just not paying attention? They're just doing their deal.
So I think what's going on is they're looking too far in advance. I kind of get a little cynical and I say, where can we find opportunities in here? So maybe we want to be buying glass manufacturers to replace the broken windows.
Tear gas.
Milk to replace the tear gas tears
Charmin
or whatever.
Shares, yeah.
Look on the good side.
But I think they're looking past this and saying, you know what? Maybe some of these businesses are going to open or things like that. And so, the market generally looks, anywhere from 6 months to a couple of years in advance. And what they're seeing out there is this coronavirus thing is it looks like it's already behind us and that we're going to be off to the races again. And people want to work. We want to produce in this country. That means there's profits to be made and we want to participate in those.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there's always a bright side.
Yeah.
I read a thing yesterday about what happened, and I think our buddy Dave Hughes put it up about in 1968 when all this happened. The same kind of thing went down in Detroit and all the major cities. We had, I was 7 years old at the time. I do remember a bit of it, just my dad's commentary on it a little bit. But what the article talked about that I read that I found was interesting is that this is going to cause, first of all, investment money. Small business money. Mm-hmm. Are you going to want to take that money back into these neighborhoods knowing? I just watched a dentist, an immigrant minority, a dentist whose dental shop on Lake Street got burned out. This is the guy that's So they talk about urban decay and, there's city decay and urban renewal again. Like that was the boom of the suburbs kind of thing when people just got out of the city centers and just said, I'm getting away from this. Do you see this happening again, maybe to a degree? And how will that local money, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of scary to me.
That's the sad part to me. That dentist, and I'm just using him as an example, he may reopen, but like you say, maybe it's in a different location altogether. Maybe people get out of there. They pull out of some of these areas. Target stores, are they going to reopen, but in that same area? We've had an effort over the last several years to move and produce and get things happening into some of these neighborhoods, and now they're destroying that. So, that's certainly not encouraging. There's a story about the firefighter who took his whole life savings, retirement, everything, put it into opening up this bar restaurant downtown Minneapolis, and that got destroyed before he even got to make $1 worth of profit. Yeah. So that's a major concern. And the thing that I think is different from the riots we saw, like you say, back in the 60s or early 70s, I don't think you had so many paid rioters then. I don't think I think you had an organic movement of people who are actually angry and things like that, not people busing them into downtown Fargo and things of that nature. So there's a political undercurrent that's just kind of nasty right now, and I hope there's a backlash against that because there is some underlying things going on that people are trying to benefit from this, and that's just wrong.
Well, back to a little bit of what's going on in the future. And that's what you're about.
Absolutely.
And so you've got a young couple now. They just got married. Now they're dealing with this, and they're dealing with the lockdown. They're dealing with other things. One thing that I love about you guys is the ability to just find something to put away, just to build the nest egg a little bit and to have a great plan. And that's key to this, isn't it, to getting through this?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, it was just a couple of weeks ago, somebody heard us on the air talking. They called and wanted to come in and talk. And so we talked about building a financial foundation, and we went through just the basics first. And I said, well, we always do this. We do this with everybody because we want to make sure that you have your financial foundation in place. I give the example of somebody who, just inherited $50,000 and they're looking for that next stock pick that they want to buy or some hot thing to put the money on. And I said, your hot stock pick might be paying down that credit card debt or something like that. A lot of people in this country, we would do a whole lot better first building our financial foundation. And so, that young couple that comes in, we're going to teach them the basics, building equity in themselves, owning their home, owning their cars, paying down debt, and then upon that foundation, starting to build wealth.
So would you recommend a young couple work on paying off their home or upgrading their home so they have more of investment in their home in that kind of case?
So that's a good one. So usually, my rule of thumb is we want to pay down debt. Debt is other people owning parts of your life. I want you to own your own life. And so I want it to be paid down. But when interest rates are this low, we might not want to hurry or accelerate paying down our home mortgage. We might want to then, pay down other debt, certainly consumer debt, but then we can start building a savings account and funneling money into that 401k and building that foundation. And then upon that, that's where we would come in and say, okay, how do we take that to the next level?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because home loans are about 3% right now. And if you've got charge cards, they're at 25%. So
exactly.
What's going to make more sense for me to pay off?
Oh, yeah. And or find a way to get some of that 3% money to get rid of some of that 25% debt.
There you go, and that's the kind of stuff we want to look at.
Yep, and it's all about the plan. And if you want to get a hold of Brien or the crew at Collins and Krank, just go to collinsandkrank.com. And Brien spells his last name Krank, so it's collinsandkrank.com. What's the phone number?
235-0119.
Right downtown. And how's everything for you guys down there after
I tell
Saturday?
you, things got pretty close to our office, and we were worried. We've got, I think, probably the biggest windows in Fargo-Moorhead.
Oh, man.
Hope I'm not putting a target on them now, but right next door to us, we saw some vandalism, but then they moved a block north, and we were fine, so that's good.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. So we'll see, and we're just saying prayers for tomorrow night. Hoping if it does happen, hoping nothing goes on. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, you too. You take care and have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks,
have
Brien.
a great weekend. Brien Krank, Collins and Krank, talking money on AM 1100, The Flag, WZFG, and the Need to Know Morning Show. Quick break, 7:42. We'll check weather. Quick check of the sports page coming up.